I did a 360 today in regards to waking up, feeling fine, energized, I'm alive, grateful am I, still grateful am I, to doing a major 360, but this was coming because I felt like this the other day, and, you know, I didn't really take care of myself the way that I take care of everybody else, you see. Mind, body, heart, and soul infusion is this thing. It's not make-believe, folks. And so, in taking care of everybody else, which I do, you know, I neglected myself, and so today I reap those repercussions. And so I'm on my way home earlier from work, thankful, blessed, amen. And a lot of things cross my mind as I sit here in pain and not feeling well, also fever, but yeah, and I'm like trembling. So it's just funny that this morning too, when I did the Snapchat cards that I pulled, because I have a table in my room that has numerous tarot oracles on display, and whenever I feel intuitively prompted, I always, you know, have this area all over. I have another table in the house with some cards and crystals all over the place. I shared it on my Snapchat, and I believe my Instagram, but live shit, like, when I wasn't live obviously, but I shared it there too, and health came up, and I knew it too. Like, when I saw it this morning, intuitively I received, oh, this was gonna also apply to me, but also something else, but nothing like alarming or alerting that was catastrophic or anything like that. And so I let it go, you know, because that's how that works. Like, you know, when we ignore certain things, like, we play oblivious sometimes. And, you know, I had to go about my day. Anyway, I had to go to work, drop my daughter off at school. Well, drop my daughter at school first, and then, you know, had to work. So, I thought about the cards, and I'm like, you know what? Let me record on my way home so you guys can see this major, like, you know, 360 that has occurred here, just even in my energy levels. But I was sitting here, and, you know, I was thinking about what I spoke about earlier in my morning message on my way to work, which I was feeling fine, was just about how our words have power, and we hear ourselves. So I sat here, like, you know, feeling pain, and I'm like, and then I caught myself immediately, and I was like, okay, what can I do to help myself better? You know, because just think about it, you know, the cells that we have in our bodies are ours. Nobody can take your cells. At least, you know, for this human vessel that we are living our nows in. So even though there's more to us than meets the eye, I just went somewhere that I always go. Like, when I tell you that, like, you know, I always sing Amazing Grace or whatever and stuff like that. But Amen is another thing that I always sing. It's just, you know, repeating and chanting Amen. Like, you know, it helps to ease the mind. Vibe aligned with just even that proclamation of what the word represents for me, because again, I dived in deep into that definition of understanding what does amen mean to me, and how come I was always naturally rebellious at church, and whenever everybody said amen, I didn't say amen. What am I saying amen about? What is amen? You know, and then feeling like a badass outcast, like, you know, not that I'm disrespectful anywhere I go, because I mean, I have been in my life in many other ways. Like, that's part of our growing pains, people. Like, you know, we play every fucking side of every fucking coin, whether we like to acknowledge it or not. So whether it's in this lifetime or not, like, so, like, think about that. But anyways, what was I saying? Fuck. That happens too, guys. See, like, I'm just like really off my vibe. I'm only saying that to communicate that live, but just know that inside, like, I'm chanting alive, like, oh yeah, so going back to that chant, so amen, right? So I just, you know, amen, over and over. It comes out in different kind of sounding choruses at different times. Sometimes it sounds just like Amazing Grace, but it's just only saying amen. I'm not there right now to fucking even try to sing it, but anyways, I did when I was by myself. And the first amen is like, hurt. And then I just started thinking about it, like, again, like, you know, when I was talking about our words have power. We are our masters and we are our creators to everything that we manifest into this world, whether we acknowledge that or not. We are responsible for many of the things that happen in our lives. I'm not talking about external chaos that comes in and wants to fucking wreak havoc on everybody's fucking soul. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the things that we energize into existence, that if we were to pay attention, we would see clearly that, you know, oh, well, I did kind of vibe that this way. What can I say? I'm learning. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then my amen, my first initial amen came from my core. So it hurt. And I felt it, and it made me immediately think about the cells in my body and just how, you know, these cells, we think, you know, they have a mind of their own. They have a function of their own. People, you got to understand that, you know, they serve a purpose. That is what they're there for. At least, you know, science explains to us to help us to try to understand something that's just very hard to conceive, the natural order and process of how things just are, you know what I mean? It's fascinating. Like, I fucking love science. Like, I don't knock it at all. Like, I am my own levels of scientist. I have a lot of experiments that I wouldn't call them fucking experiments, because that's not what they were at the time. It's just the way that my mind processes things. And so, you know, I identify with that scientist in me, always exploring our boundaries, you know what I mean? So, like, just think, commander, shit, like, who's running your vessel? Like, if you are gonna start to begin to understand that we are more than these bodies, and that you're acknowledging self in another kind of, like, energetic essence, shape, or form, what does that mean to you? Like, you know, okay, like, go deeper. Like, you have to really, like, understand that, okay, so if I'm more than this body, and there's something else. Like, we give you visuals, we give you art, we give you, you know, depictions. You know, people speak it in words, poetically, however it is that they try to express this dynamic flow that naturally happens within all of our souls. Like, you know what I mean? You have to give it some kind of imagery, because that's part of our conditioning. Part of our conditioning is to believe what we see only. Anything that we don't see, we don't believe, or we doubt because we don't see it. See how fucked up that is in spirit realm, in spirituality and essence form? We are already programmed and conditioned to perceive that if we don't see things, that means it's not real. So along that that line of just being, we all unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever the case may be, evolved understanding that if we don't see it, we have to doubt it, and it's not believable. Oh, that can't happen. You know, that kind of thing. So just think about when we retain information that we're learning about ourselves, or about our bodies, or about these cells in our bodies, and all these other things. What are you retaining if you're not diving deep? Like, so are you just only retaining your conditioned understanding of what it is, and then furthermore piling that shit on top of there? Is that your real fucking core? Like, is that your thought process, or it was given to you? You know what I mean? Cells, they serve a function, a purpose. Do they have a mind of their own? I wonder, right? Has anybody ever asked if cells have a fucking mind of their own? Like, do they have conversations with each other inside our bodies? Like, and be like, yo, you know, this bitch is getting sick right now, and we told her, and now, you know, body's under attack. Or, like, you know, are they having conversation? But they communicate, right? Synapses, they communicate with each other function that is naturally within us, in our bodies, and they serve a function and a purpose. Nobody says they have a mind of their own. So who is in command here? Just because they have a function and a purpose. Does that mean we have no control over that function and that purpose? Maybe not. Maybe we can't change their function, we can't change their purpose. But how can we help, you know, what's already within us that is ours? How do we communicate with our healing? Because, you know, I thought about it. Like, I've acknowledged within myself, my amens are fucking holy. You know what I mean? And they're holy unto myself. You know, I was saying, you know, I am religious unto my own beliefs, which continuously keeps evolving and expanding. And I will never limit that concept of understanding, knowing that there's so much more that I don't know. And oh, I'm excited to find out whatever it is that I am, you know, whatever it is that is part of my evolutionary process at this time. You know what I mean? My life cycle, my life cycles. So, just think about it. Like, okay, so we learn that they serve a function, they serve a purpose, and all these things. But what about our communication with our own bodies? Healing. I've seen healing with my own hands. With my own hands, that has cemented my belief in, hello, how are you? That has cemented my belief system in that there's so much more to our energetic presence that we should explore. Denying things to myself because the world says, nah, that makes you crazy. I don't see it. You may not see that. Ain't up to you. That's up to your level of your journey, your experience. Like, I ain't on your level, obviously. And it's not even about being levels, but that's the communication that we speak, to express something, to explain. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Everybody has their own, which they're entitled to. It's part of their journey, their process. I think that's beautiful. You know? So this got me excited, this got me passionate, and you see my voice is coming from my core. I'm passionate and I feel better at this moment in time, even expressing myself. You know what I mean? So I don't knock a lot of things that I do not see, because I know from me that there's nothing that anybody can ever say from the things I've witnessed in my life along the way that they can take away. So, you know, I want to hear what the doc has got to say about all the fucking spirits that have come my motherfucking way. Okay? Yeah. So, anywho, think people. I just parked. I'm home. I want to go take a little nap. We are power. Namaste.